Texas A&M's schedule in 2025 is going to look very similar to their schedule in 2024. The home and away just flipped, and that's the way it is in the SEC and also with Notre Dame. This time they're going to go on the road to Notre Dame. So let's break down that schedule, see when all the games occur. Here is that full schedule. We'll start with the non-conference. They'll play UTSA, Utah State, on the road at Stanford, and then on the road at Notre Dame, I should say, and at home for Samford. So of course, the one big non-conference game there against Notre Dame, but other than that, pretty easy non-conference slate for the Aggies. How about the home and away in the SEC? Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, and South Carolina all at home, and then you got Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, and Texas on the road. So, it's the same thing they had last year. It's the same conference opponents. You just flip them. You flip the home and away. So, really not a lot to look at there. Let's see where the games occur, though, because there is definitely something interesting with this schedule. So they've got UTSA first on August 30th, then Utah State on September 6th. Then they'll play that big non-conference game against Notre Dame week 3, September 13th. That one, again, will be on the road, and that'll be a tough environment, of course. And then they get their first bye week after that on September 20th. So 3 non-conference games, and then you get into SEC play. You have 5 SEC games in between the 2 byes. They have Auburn on September 27th. That should be a really good game. Of course, it was a great game last year. Mississippi State next on October 4th, again at home. You like Texas A&M's chances in that game. Then you got Florida on October 11th at home. That should be a really, really good game. And what do you notice here? 3 home games in a row. Their first 3 conference games are all at home. And then they play 3 road games in a row. So that is very interesting the way this schedule sets up. Then you got Arkansas on October 18th, again on the road. That's not going to be played in Arlington any longer. It's no longer a neutral site game. It is going to be home and away from now on. And that's going to be a great matchup, seeing Texas A&M actually go on the road to play Arkansas. And then you've got LSU on October 25th, also on the road. Very tough place to play, of course. Then they get that second bye week. And then after that, they'll play Missouri on November 8th on the road. Back home for South Carolina on November 15th. And then at home for Samford on November 22nd. And they close things out with Texas on the road November 29th. So, yeah, that's the big thing that jumps out with this schedule. It's just the fact that they play 3 SEC games in a row at home and then 3 road games in the SEC. That's just, we don't really see that with these schedules. I don't know why they did that. It's definitely interesting. They don't have back-to-back weeks where they're on the road, or they don't have 3. I should say they don't have 3 weeks in a row on the road, because you do have a bye week in between LSU and Missouri. But 3 games in a row on the road: Arkansas, LSU, and Missouri. That is just, it's very interesting. Very interesting with the schedule. So yeah, Notre Dame in the non-conference obviously going to make this, a very respectable non-conference schedule, even though they don't really play anyone else. But in the SEC, how does it stack up with the other teams? Well, their opponents, their win percentage from last year was 48%. Texas A&M's SEC opponents this year went 31-33 last season. So right there in the middle. This is not one of the toughest schedules in the SEC, but it's also not the easiest at all. So it's a pretty tough schedule, but again, not a brutal schedule. It's right there, middle of the pack for Texas A&M. It's a weird schedule because of the 3 straight home games and the 3 straight road games in the SEC. But all in all, a schedule that gives A&M a shot to have a pretty good season in 2025.